Hello everyone, it is April. Today I've got a book haul for you. I think I've got 10 here for you. Let's just dive right in. First of all, I wanted to mention something that isn't a book but is bookish, that's for sure. This was sent to me so kindly from Mai. She has a YouTube channel called A Bookish Pod, and I will link that in the description box below. She just recently started an Etsy shop called Daughter of My Mom, and she creates these beautiful things. So this is a little book sleeve for your books. These are great for like a paperback book, I would say, or a small hardcover. I've been using it with my paperbacks, which I find get dented and like just destroyed a little more easy, especially with a toddler. Oh my goodness. So thank you so much, Mike. This is so gorgeous. And it's even like personalized. What? Anyway, I'm going to share that with you guys in the description box below. Hope you'll go and check her out. I cannot believe how gorgeous these are. Thank you, Mai. Oh my goodness. Now we will get right into the books. I'm going to start with a couple of books that were sent to me from publishers first. The first is Survive the Night by Riley Sager. I've been waiting for this. This is the July book club pick for my little book club over on Patreon, the Getting Hooga With It Patreon book club. Survive the Night follows a woman who is riding home. She's on this like ride share board. It's 1991. And so she needs a ride home. I think it's Thanksgiving. She puts her name down and a guy named Josh says, hey, I'm headed that way on the same weekend. I'll give you a ride. She's like, that's great. So she's on the ride home making small talk with this guy. And she realizes that she feels like his story just isn't adding up. And she realizes that he actually might be someone who has been menacing the campus for many months. There's a serial killer on campus, and her best friend was recently victim to him. So she's mourning this girl that she knew so well and loved, and this guy beside her driving might be the serial killer. So she just has to survive the night. How hard could it be? Oh, sounds so good. By the way, please excuse my mouth, and I'm not speaking very clearly. I recently got Invisalign. So I'm learning, okay? I'm learning how to speak again. Oh. Okay, so we've got to read the first line of Survive the Night. See if it's a 5-star first line. You never know. Okay, let's do it. First line, fade in. Absolutely not. Absolutely not a 5-star first line, but that's okay. Okay, next up is The Other Passenger by Louise Candlish. I've never read her before. I think I have like one of her books on my shelves. The Other Passenger follows a woman who takes a ferry to work every day. She lives off like on an island, and she takes the ferry in. And she sits beside her neighbor every single day. Her neighbor stops showing up on the ferry. She doesn't know what to make of it. However, she does find out that her neighbor went missing. And the police think that she had something to do with it because the witnesses on this little ferry had seen them arguing just before he vanished. And so it's about her story. It sounds like a lot of fun, very easy read for the summer. So let's read the first line of this. December 27th, 2019. Like all commuter horror stories, mine begins in the mean light of early morning, or at least officially it does. Ooh, that sounds like fun. I don't know if that's a 5-star first line, but still excited. The next few books are books that I bought myself. I found the next like 5 at a Value Village. They opened again in Ontario, which is very exciting for me. So I went ahead and picked up really quickly Bitter Orange by Claire Fuller. We follow Frances, and she lives in this old country house. And I believe she lives on the upper floors of the house. And down below, a couple move in, I believe, for the summer. And she watches them through the floorboards. Now, they do end up becoming friends, and a crime occurs over the course of this summer. It says a crime so terrible that it will brand all their lives forever. What? That sounds great. I cannot wait to read this, and I was so shocked to find this there. I will say that. Okay, let's read the first line and see what we think. They must think I don't have long left, because today they allow the vicar in. Don't have long left. Does this mean that she's dying? Oh, that's a 5-star first line to me. That sounds good. Next is a nonfiction book that I found. This is We Have Always Been Here by Samra Habib. This is her experience moving to Canada. She fled Pakistan after regular threats from Islamic extremists. And she and her parents moved to Canada, and were bombarded by a whole new host of issues, including bullying and racism and poverty. And this is about her experience feeling like an outsider, trying to fight for what she wants. It is a queer Muslim memoir, and I'm here for it. It sounds really good. I love that it's Canadian as well, and I really want to read this. So let us read the first line. 1. We both had shaved heads. I don't know if that's a 5-star first line, but sounds really good. Next is This Tenderland by William Kent Kruger. Now, I picked this up specifically because Katie over at Life Between Words mentioned William Kruger and just fell in love with his writing, and I just have a feeling that I'll really like it. This is about 4 orphans who live in Mississippi, and it follows them running away together. They're traveling along the Mississippi River during the Great Depression and really relying on each other to survive. It sounds really impactful. So let's read the first line. Prologue. In the beginning, after he labored over the heavens and the earth, the light and the dark, the land and sea, and all living things that dwell therein, after he created man and woman, and before he rested, I believe God gave us one final gift. Ooh, that sounds really good. I don't know if it's quite a 5-star first line, but it definitely pulls you in and makes you want to continue to read. So that looks like fun. Next is After the Flood by Cassandra Montague. I feel like I've heard mixed things about this book. It's a post-apocalyptic book. The world is basically water at this point. There is a huge flood after the flood, and we follow a woman with her daughter Pearl living essentially in a rowboat. She fishes with her child to survive, and she's mourning the loss of her other daughter. Her eldest daughter was taken away by her father when the flood began, and she has actually heard rumors that her daughter is alive. She's at another camp, and she decides to take her youngest and go and try to find her eldest. It sounds really hard, but good. So let's read the first line of After the Flood. Prologue. Children think we make them, but we don't. Oh, I like that. I don't know what that means, but I like it. Oh, and there's a little blurb here by Karen Slaughter. Fun. Not a 5-star first line, but it sounds really good. And then I could not believe that I found this. It looks like nobody's read it, which I love. This is The Book of Longings by Sue Monk Kidd. This is her latest book, and I really enjoy Sue Monk Kidd's writing for sure. And this is a retelling of Jesus' story. I don't know anything more than that. And I don't really want to, because I feel like that could throw me off and maybe I wouldn't like. Anyway, I don't want to know too much. So I'm going to kind of go in blind to this one. Let's read the first line of the Book of Longings. Ugh. Oh, there's a map. I love it when there's a good map. Okay, first line. I am Anna. Okay, not a 5-star first line. It's just not. I'm sorry. I also bought a book. I pre-ordered this book because I wanted to read it and I could not wait. I couldn't wait. This is Hairpin Bridge by Taylor Adams. He wrote No Exit, which I loved. I thought it was so much fun. This is a thriller book where we follow a woman who is estranged from her sister, and her sister dies suddenly. Police say that she has thrown herself off of a bridge, and she just doesn't feel like that's her sister. She wants to know what happened leading up to her death, and so she starts to investigate. And as she does, she discovers that the hours before her death, there were several calls to 911 that she made that just didn't go through. She sent text messages to herself. She was sent text messages from her sister, and things just seem off. There was a policeman who met her along the way over the course of that night, and she wants to get to the bottom of what happened to her sister, really. So let's read the first line of Hairpin Bridge. You look exactly like her. That's not a 5-star first line, but it sounds really good. Oh my goodness, my dear friend Rachel ended up dropping this off for me, and I believe Nora as well. This is Amanda Gorman's The Hill We Climb. This is the poem that she spoke at the inauguration of Joe Biden. It was stunning. Such a young woman, but my goodness, she is stunning. So we'll read the first line of the poem. When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? Beautiful. She's just so beautiful. That's 5 stars, of course. I mean, it's Amanda Gorman. Oh my goodness. Let me know in the comments below if you have picked up anything recently that you're really excited to read. I'd love to know what it is. And I'll talk with you very soon. Bye, everybody.